So while the big boys are away, the rest can play. And boy, did they play. Ben Shelton claiming a title on the clay. What a performance from him, beating Kaboli. We had Arthur Fees defeating Andrei Rublev in the final in Barcelona. And then on the women's side, Jelena Rybakina. She looks like the one to beat on the women's tour this year, claiming the title in Stuttgart. And also Marta Kostyuk grabbing yet another title. That's right, and if you haven't done so yet, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck in to the action that's been on this week. Sorry we haven't brought you much content, but there has been a lot going on in just daily life, unfortunately. But these weren't the biggest of tournaments, but there still was a lot to talk about. And we're going to take a look back, not just at the finals, have a look at some of the runs that they put together as well. And we'll start off with Big Ben Shelton. What a performance that he put in against Flavio Kaboli. I thought masterful would be the word I'd use to describe this. And the power was just so evident from Ben Shelton. The really big top spin that he was putting on the ball seemed to be causing Kaboli all sorts of troubles. And the serve really translated onto the clay of Munich. I just thought it was a great tournament from both players. And Flavio Kaboli, someone I've got in my top 10 for the end of the year, I've been impressed because he's had a few dips this year, but he's come back stronger. And making a final, I think there's no shame in that. He's up against somebody who's one of the best players in the world in Ben Shelton, who's ever improving, such a great young player. And I thought the final really lived up to the bill. I think that the scoreline was maybe slightly unfair on Kaboli. He played some fantastic tennis, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't in enough of the points, but some of the shots he did hit and some of the rallies he won were quite incredible. But Ben Shelton, it was a shutout. And it's the biggest clay title he's won, and the biggest clay title by an American man on clay since Andre Agassi in Rome, 2002. Crazy to think, 24 years ago. Fifth career title for him, third ATP 500, and second in 2026, which is brilliant because it's great to see more players coming to the forefront of the sport. And I like the fact Kaboli was in the final as well. Have a look at both who they played to get through there. It was not easy. It was quite a stacked tournament, I would say. And Shelton, he got through. I'm surprised to see Molchan there in the semi-finals, to be honest. But he was having a good tournament. Fonseca, that was the real tough one, and he got through that one in 3. And then he had blocks and Navarre, a couple of other players yet to beat. Kaboli had to defeat Zizou Bergs, Victor Priver, who's been on a bit of a tear of late. And, of course, the favourite for the tournament, most people would be thinking, at home in Germany, Sasha Zverev. Beating him in straight sets was impressive. And Zverev was good in that match as well. So I think a lot to write home about from Kaboli's performance in this tournament. And that's what makes Ben Shelton's win in the final in straight sets even more impressive. And like it says here, Munich has a new king. Shelton, the first American to win a clay title above a 250 level since 2002. And there he is, just wanting to hear those roars from the crowd. But he had nice things to say about Flavio Kaboli as well. Said, "You are amazing. One of the reasons why this sport is growing. Top 10 soon." I like to hear that. Yes, come on. I like to hear it from another Ben, not just me. Somebody who actually probably knows a bit more about what Kaboli is like on a tennis court. And he obviously sees something great in there. I saw it in person at the Davis Cup. I was so impressed. Someone who can rise to the occasion a lot of the time. But unfortunately, today wasn't a day for him. The new top 10, this is what it looks like. We've got obviously Sinner and Alcaraz miles above everybody else. Zverev there comfortably in third. Djokovic just coasting in fourth. Felix in fifth. Ben Shelton there in sixth. Very close to Felix, though. Looks like he could overtake him soon. We got Fritz up a place, and he is up to seventh. And Alex de Minaur, he is down to eighth at the moment. So those two are always pretty close to each other, it seems, in the rankings. And Musetti there in ninth, and Medvedev making up the top 10. This is another stat. Players with multiple titles in 2026. Yannick Sinner with 3. Carlos Alcaraz, 2. We got Daniel Medvedev with 2. And Ben Shelton also with 2. Well, somebody else getting himself on that trophy list for the year was the Frenchman as well in Barcelona. Carlos Alcaraz withdrew from the tournament, and it left it open for anybody else to come and try and take this title. And Arthur Fils did a fantastic job in doing so. And it was another straight sets win in a final as well. And Andrei Rublev, when he's on, sometimes very difficult player to play against. But I've been so impressed by Arthur Fils and the way that he's come back from this injury and hit the ground running in 2026. Very, very impressive to just not play that much match play and come back at such a high level. I'll show you who he was beating. So he beat Atman, he beat Nakashima, Musetti, Hodar, which, well, he had a fantastic tournament as well in Barcelona, but that was a tough one in 3 sets. And Rublev in straights in the final. Rublev also had a really good tournament. Medvedev, got to give him a shout out as well, because he actually did play very well. Very close match against Rublev. Hatch, he beat Sonego and Navone, but Arthur Fils just a bit too strong. Looks like he just had a few more tools to maneuver Andrei Rublev around. And I hear people saying they felt sorry for the ball in this one because they were leathering it at each other. But Arthur Fils just seemed to have a little bit of something different to change up the rallies here and there. And that's what Andrei Rublev may be missing, maybe slightly too predictable. And Arthur Fils, I think this is great again. You look at the other tournament, Ben Shelton, Flavio Cobolli, this tournament, Arthur Fils, all these young players coming through on the men's. I think Andrei Rublev did well to get to the final, but I think you're seeing the changing of the guard. We're sort of seeing, we know where his level's at. Obviously, there's no Alcaraz or Sinner in this event, so it's there for the taking. Who's the best of the rest, really, in this tournament? And proved to be Arthur Fils, and he might continue to keep rising. May we see him inside that top 10 very soon. It's his 4th career title and first since Tokyo in 2024. And he's up to number 6 in the ATP race, despite missing Australia as well. And that's quite wild. Pretty impressive. I think everybody has to agree with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I thought this was quite an interesting graphic as well. Nishi saying the top 10 nations by total ATP points. And this is in the top 100. Italy, top. They've got 23,700 points with 7 players. USA are second, but they've got 16 players making up 23,300 points. So it's got 9 more players in there, but yeah, still not overtaking Italy. Spain with 18,900 with 7 players. France, 12,400. They've got 12 players. You've got Argentina in there, 10,000. Russia, only 3 players, doing quite well to be up there. Germany with 4. Canada with only 3 players there, and we've got Serbia and then Australia there in 10th. Quite interesting, though. No Britain on there, but that's not a surprise, to be honest. But let's move over to the women's, take a look at what was going on, and seems to be one lady's name who is making the headlines all the time, it seems, at the moment, and it is Jelena Rybakina. What a performance. What a week she's had. She went through the ringer. It wasn't an easy week for her, but she fought through it, especially against Leylah Fernandez, saving match points to win that one. She doesn't even know how she did it. She was saying in the interview she didn't think she was playing well at all, but still got the win. And yeah, she's in the 13th career title, second of the year, and now a lot of pressure being put on Sabalenka. And this is probably why. Points to defend for the rest of the clay season. Sabalenka 2,515 and Rybakina only 870. The gap between the two, 2,300 points. Is there the opportunity here? Rybakina, if she keeps up this amazing run that she's on, she looks really, really good this year. Could she take the #1 spot? The way she played in this final against Muchova, it seemed like a lot of straight sets finals, but it wasn't an easy final, but she just made it look comfortable. The serving seemed to really translate. The forehands, the backhands, still a little bit slow to get to the net. I'd say the movements, that's probably where she's lacking the most, but the tools that she's got and the weapons, everyone's so in fear of her serve. They just don't know where it's going to go. And by the time they guessed, they just about get it back. And she just wallops the second ball away. I thought Mira Andreeva deserves a bit of a shout out in this tournament as well. She knocked out Iga, one of the first players to come back from a set down to defeat Iga on clay, which that's not something easy, especially in Stuttgart as well, where she has done well in the past. Thought Fernandez, got to give her a shout out, really good. I mean, the actual tournament for Rybakina really tough, to be honest. Schneider, Fernandez, Andreeva, Muchova. It's really, really difficult. And then if you look at Muchova's, she had Sasnovich, Mertens, Coco Gauff, and that was a big one to get a win over Coco Gauff and Svitolina back to back. I mean, she did have to play 3 back-to-back 3-set matches. Maybe that didn't have the gas tank to go to 3 again in the final. I still think that she's getting to finals, though. We're seeing her at the back end of all the events, Muchova, right now. I think really, really positive. She'll be looking forward to the clay court swing and Roland Garros again. And good luck to her. But it looks like Rybakina could be the one to beat. And Marta Kostyuk, just finishing with her, she capped off a great week. She played another Ukrainian in the final, Veronika Podres, and it was a straight sets win in another final. So 4 finals, 4 straight sets wins, and her second title, second title and first since 2023. She gains 5 places in the rankings, climbs back to 23rd in the world, and I think this was a really convincing performance. I expected her to win that, to be honest. She got to the final. No disrespect to Podres, but she should be winning this match. And I think Podres should just be happy that she made it to the final, to be honest. Look at both their routes to the final. Not the strongest of tournaments. We're not talking like the Stuttgart tournament at all. You can see there Diane Parry, McNally, Lee, Maria, and Podres. Yeah, I mean, and then Podres even had a walkover in her semi-final. Cocciaretto and Sloane Stephens and Katie Balter still had to beat them, but not the highest level, I wouldn't have said. So that's just a quick roundup of all the finals that have happened today. Let me know your thoughts about them in that comment section below. Do you think Cabol is going to make the top 10? Where will Shelton end the year? He's playing some good stuff on the clay. He's adding more strings to his bow. And will Rybakina overtake Sabalenka as world #1? I want to hear your thoughts. So pop them in the comment section. And if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.